This is a demonstration of chemical washing of the Supercheck. The Supercheck was designed by Frank Abagnale for SAFEChecks. First, we're going to pour some acetone into this cake pan. Acetone is the ingredient that fraudsters use to wash checks. Now we'll place one of the Superchecks in here, just halfway, and the other check all the way in. And you can see immediately how the ink is beginning to dissolve all around the border. That ink used for the border is Sitka ink, formulated in Switzerland, and is what the Supercheck is manufactured with. Now we're going to wait 5 minutes to see the effect, and we'll come right back. Now I'm going to take these washed checks out of the acetone and just lay them here, and you can see the impact there on that check washed halfway. And here, this check has been washed completely. Let me dry them off a little bit. This is the original check. And you can see how the chemical washing has affected it. And look at the back. Permanent speckles. These never wash away. Supercheck is manufactured on signature paper, the only paper in North America with a permanent chemical stain.
Is the paper you use made with renewable energy? Unlike paper makers who use carbon or nuclear energy sources, Signature Paper uses renewable biogas energy. Biogas is generated by the decomposition of waste from a local landfill site. It is captured and compressed with a purification system and then transported by pipeline over a distance of 8 miles to the paper mill. 93% of the paper machines at the mill are powered with biogas, resulting in 70,000 fewer tons of CO2 generated each year, or the equivalent of 23,000 compact cars. Biogas is a sustainable initiative, allowing for the reuse of local and abundant resources that would otherwise be lost. Reduce your environmental footprint. Choose Signature Paper, designed by SAFEChecks and Frank Abagnale, and made with biogas energy.
Now, for years, I designed ADP's check, I designed Paycheck's check, if that's your payroll provider. I've designed many state government checks, foreign countries' checks. For years, people would say to me, why don't you just design a check for small businesses? And so I did. It's now called the Supercheck. I make no money from it. I have no financial interest in it. I receive no royalties for it. As a matter of fact, I didn't charge to design it. I did set the guidelines for printing it, and the standards for it offer the Supercheck. In designing this check, I just said to myself, how do I eliminate all risk? So first, I started with a controlled check stock with a watermarked paper that you cannot buy on the open market. The stub of the check on the back says non-negotiable, so no one can ever take the white stub off the bottom and convert the stub on the security paper into a check. It uses prismatic backgrounds, 8 colors of ink mixed together to defoil the scanner, so you can't scan the face of it. It has a high-resolution border, the same border that would be on an engraved stock certificate, too high a resolution for copiers and scanners. The padlock at the left and right of the check is nothing more than an icon used around the world to tell how many security features are in a document. The teller knows what that means. But in this case, when the teller touches that icon, it will disappear and then reappear. This is called thermochromic ink, and this works on the human body's heat. When you touch it, the heat of your body makes the chemical disappear. When you let go, it returns instantly, 1 million times over and over and over. This is so we can authenticate a document at the casino cage without the casino worrying about having a piece of machinery to do so. or the grocery store, or the check casher, or whoever wants to authenticate the document at the point of transaction. It is 86 chemical sensitive. So we have taken the 21 chemicals and where they come from, their family of chemicals, and eliminated the possibility of that happening. Make a copy of the check and it will void out the signature panel, rendering it worthless. This is a void pantograph, and where pantographic dots are invisible to the human eye on the check, but visible to copiers and scanners. So when you make a copy of it, what you end up with copies with void on it, and voiding out the signature panel. You can't remove the toner because at the manufacturing of the paper, this is at the paper mill, not where we print the check, we inject into the mill process a chemical that stays dormant for 10 years. When your check goes through a laser printer, the intense heat of the printer turns the chemical on, which locks the toner on the paper for the lifetime of the check. And of course, these checks are sold in quantities as low as 500, 3 to a page, cut list, variation. They're probably cheaper than the checks you are currently using, but they have no problem worrying about counterfeits, alterations, or someone fooling with your check. They also make a personal check, a little higher than the check you pay for at the bank, but has all the same security features in the personal checkbook. And the information about those products are in that brochure.